This is a PSA to all Headless Horsemen out in the world.
Yeah.
Just fuck yourself
do
with
it.
your head.
Fuck yourself. Give yourself head. You deserve it. You deserve it. You've been headless too long. Give yourself head.
What is his convo?
Give yourself a head, guys. Give yourself a head.
Welcome back to Romancing the Monsters. I'm Am.
Hi, I'm S.
I'm Seth.
And this week we have a special episode for you because we are recording our Hall-hoe-ween episode, or as we like to call it, Hoe-lloween, or Hall-hoe-ween. I'm still playing around with the name, okay?
Both options are great.
Thanks. Basically, what we do is we read a bunch of smutty little novellas that fit the time of year, fit the season. And obviously this one is all about Halloween, so think creatures of the night, monsters, and everything you would find at Halloween. We were gonna rate at Christmas time it was candy canes. Here we were gonna do candy corn.
Yeah, let's do candy corn. Oh, why?
Well, here's the thing. I read a lot of monster stuff, but there wasn't any interesting dicks per se that are worthy of being rated with our incredible candy corn system.
I'm thinking, I agree, I concur, but
you concur. Okay.
I think let's rate their execution.
Okay, fair enough. So we're gonna rate them using candy corns then.
Yeah.
Was the sex good? Because if that's the point of the novella, it better be good, you know? Alright, so S is joining us today. However, did you end up reading?
I didn't read. I started a book, but I didn't finish it. But
what book was it?
It's good so far. It's called Not Today Satan by Calliope Stewart.
Oh, right. That's on my list. Yeah, well, I didn't read it for today, but it's on my list of things I want to read.
Yeah. So far, it seems promising.
Okay.
It's an Omegaverse with Satan.
Yeah. And some, I heard it has horn fucking, so I'm excited.
See, I'm very intrigued by that idea. We've talked about it, in our own conversations, why is nobody fucking the horns? But at the same time, I'm a little scared.
It's not, for me, it's not fucking the horns. It's
humping the horn that I want.
Yes, exactly. And
riding the horn.
There you go.
Dry humping the horn.
Yes, hold on,
Let's keep going.
Can you shut up?
What do you want to tell us, Saf, about the horns?
All I'm saying is that, yes, I want that, but I want the horns to be what's the word?
Soft?
You know, when it...
Fuzzy?
Not rough?
Not
pointy?
No.
Pliable?
No, we're it's not a sexual organ, but the
that has
guy or person with the horns feels sexual
what's
pleasure
it called? From it. Yeah.
We know what you mean, though.
Yeah, so I just want them to feel pleasure from that.
I concur.
Well, let's find out once I finish this book, and hopefully we get all that.
Yes. Yeah. And I also, is it a novella?
Yeah. Does 100 pages count as a novella?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah.
All right. Well, you're still here today for the spirit, pun intended, the spirit of today's episode, joining us for the fun and the laughs. Hopefully. So who wants to start between you and I, Seth? How many things do you have on your list, first of all?
So since I'm going to be doing the book separately. 1 second, let me count.
She's like 25.
Oh, only 8.
Only.
Yeah.
I have 10, so that's good. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we're good. We're good.
Do you want to start or do I start?
I could start.
Okay.
All right.
You start then.
The first book that I read was Taken in the Haunted
Why
House.
are you doing it so awkwardly?
Because we're going to be talking about Dick for the next 2 hours.
The first book that I read.
Anyways, so I read Taken in the Haunted House by Ruby Winchester.
Ooh.
It's on KU. So basically, this book just like, started off with a bang, pun intended. So she's literally been obsessed with the world of horror and its creatures forever, and she passes by this haunted house, and she always passes by it, but like she just, she like knows this house is haunted because like she just feels the vibes. Next thing you know, she wakes up in like a white dress, and she's in the house chained, and she figures out she's abducted by the ghosts. And so she literally gets fucked by so many ghosts.
Gangbanged by the ghosts?
Yes. And we find out that ghost cum is cold, guys.
Oh.
Is it actually, like, wait, question. Is ghost cum
Invisible?
like actually something physical, tangible?
To be quite honest, the way that it was described, I think it made it seem like it was real because like she was swallowing it, she was, feeling it in places.
Interesting.
And it was just really cold. But then for some odd, it was like a fever dream. And then randomly, like this feathered demon being came.
Feathered demon.
No, did I say feather?
I heard feathered.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant leather.
Oh.
Anyway, so she gets fucked by this thing, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So like it kind of lost its plot. Like there was no plot, guys, seriously. But it kind of lost
No plot to be found.
Focus, and all of a sudden she just belongs to them now, and whenever she's feeling horny, they're coming to collect.
Literally.
Sounds fun. Sounds interesting.
It was
it does.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've always wanted, not always, it was like a lifelong dream, but like I've kind of wanted to, read a book about a haunted house, and I got it.
I thought you were going to say I've always wanted to like experience what she was doing.
I
was like, oh my god, sad. You naughty girl.
We're getting really candid on this episode today.
Coming on air to reveal the secrets. I've always wanted to be fucked by a haunted house.
Yeah.
Really, I've thought about it my whole life, really. I'm glad I could get this off my chest, guys.
Gosh. This episode is pure chaos. But yeah.
Okay. So how was the sex? How many candy corns?
Are we doing it out of 5?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'd give it 3 candy corns out of 5, meaning like the ghost's execution as well as like the leathery demon thing. Because like there was no lead in, like there was no like building suspense, which obviously the book was like so short. But I just feel like I was thrown into it and I was so confused. And then like once I got into it, I was confused again by this leathery demon thing. So yeah, they fucked real well, but wasn't that great.
Fair enough.
I hope no one that I know is listening to this. Next.
Right. Friends and family.
Shut up.
This may not be the episode for you. Walk out now. Save yourselves.
After I've done my first book. All right,
Always.
Marge, what is yours?
Well, my first book is called Scream for the Scarecrow by Violet Taylor. So the heroine here is called Scarlet, and basically she's at a pumpkin patch with her friend. They're heading to, I think it's Hawaii the next day or something, and it's like Halloween Eve. So they would just figure they would pick pumpkins, which it ended up being kind of stupid because like they ended up being like, why would we get a pumpkin if we're leaving? So like I don't know how that fit into the plot at all, but whatever. We're not here for that. We're not here for plot today.
Wait, sorry, you were confused that they were picking pumpkins as they were leaving?
Well, they're at a pumpkin patch trying to pick a pumpkin, and then 5 hours later they're like, well, why are we doing this? We're leaving, so like the pumpkin will die by the time we, like, it will be dead by the time we return, so like they just leave without a pumpkin. And I'm like, so why did you guys go? Anyway,
where were they going? Sorry, I'm so caught up on the plot.
They're at a pumpkin patch trying to pick a pumpkin, okay?
But were they gonna go after to vacation?
Yeah, where were they going? Why couldn't they take the pumpkin with them?
To Hawaii? You traveling on an airplane with your pumpkin?
Right, okay. I don't think no, like, produce is allowed. Okay, continue. I understand.
Anyways, so they're picking the pumpkin that they're not gonna pick, okay? And she forgets her purse there.
Oh, no.
And, well, actually, as she's picking the pumpkin, she notices this, like, scarecrow out in the field, and she's like, ooh, kind of scary. Well, drops her purse, goes home.
She drops her purse again, or is this like a...
No, that was the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
I was backtracking for context.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate.
Right, and you're welcome. And so that night, she's like, fuck, where's my purse? And she's like, I'm literally flying out the following morning really early, and I need my purse with my passport. In, like, for some reason, her passport is in her purse. I don't know who would do that, but whatever.
I do that.
You do that?
Well, because I always have my purse with me.
But why would you need your passport on you?
Well, where would I put it?
In a safe? Mine is in a safe in our house.
So you always carry your passport?
No,
like, all the
I
time?
don't always carry. I mean, like, when I'm, like, traveling, I have my
Well, she
passport
wasn't
with
traveling.
me.
She was at the
Okay.
pumpkin patch with her passport. What? Who do you need it for?
Chaotic. Oh my
Are
God.
the pumpkin authorities are gonna ask you where you're from?
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Oh my God.
Anyways, the passport is in the purse that's in the pumpkin patch. Okay, so she's like, fuck, I need to retrieve my purse tonight. And it's Halloween Eve, eh? I said that already, I think. So she drives back in the dead of night, and it's dark outside. And anyway, she makes her way back to where the Scarecrow was, and turns out it is not there anymore. And she's like, I'm pretty sure it was there. Anyway, she finds the purse. The purse has been retrieved. The purse is fine. The passport is also fine.
Right.
And then Scarecrow finds her.
Oh, shit.
However, Scarecrow is no longer a scarecrow-looking thing. He's more like a Frankenstein-looking thing now. Like, he's kind of shifted into, like, a bit of a human-looking, appearance with, like, scars, and, like, he kind of looks, like, patched together. Anyways. And so from there, we get, like, a little bit of chasing action where he's kind of running after her in the pumpkin patch while she's screaming for her life. And then they fuck, obviously. This one is a little bit, like, dubious consent. It definitely, like, borders on non-con at times. So if you're not comfortable with that, this is not the novella for you. But it's not even a novella. It's literally like a short story at this point. I think it was like 40 pages. But if you're looking for perhaps a Hoe-lloween read that's, toying with the darker line, there you go. And yeah, the ending is a little bizarre though. Like, I wouldn't even call this a romance at all because, well, spoiler alert, I'm about to spoil the ending, so, skip ahead if you don't want to know what happens at the end.
Oh, I've spoiled the whole book for
right,
listeners.
Well, we're us, okay, so we're gonna spoil the entire thing. But basically at the end, like, this guy, the Scarecrow, like, we learn that he was actually cursed by this, like, witch that turned him into, like, he was seen by his village, like, hundreds of years ago, like, as this rapist, because apparently, like, everyone thought he had raped this woman, which apparently he did not. But seeing as this really toys with the dubious / non-con line,
sure?
I'm like, I'm not sure you're innocent, my dude. Anywho, he was cursed by this witch and turned into a scarecrow. And then basically the end of this book is the same witch, who still lives, finds them both together in the pumpkin patch after they fucked a lot. And she basically like turns them both into scarecrows, and they're like, that's that. Like their existence is like they're trapped into this field together as scarecrows for the rest of eternity. And then like on Halloween Eve,
So she didn't make it to Hawaii?
no, she never made it. Like the passport was useless. Okay, she should have left the passport. But yeah, like basically they're cursed for the rest of eternity, and like they only turn into their like Frankenstein looking selves on Halloween Eve, and then they fuck all night, and then they get changed again into scarecrows the following day. I was like, that's not
so sad.
a HEA.
They only have like one night of like fun.
Yeah, of fun, pleasure, and then they're back to being scarecrows.
Did she want to be a scarecrow though? Like, was she like yes?
No, of course not. Of course not. No,
This
it was
is
sad
so
as hell. I was like, what kind of
sad.
ending is this?
Yeah.
This is so sad.
Yeah, it was dark, but like I didn't think it was gonna end like that. But anyway,
Yo, she just went to get her purse.
yeah.
That had her passport in it. Okay, well now I
At the
have,
pumpkin patch where she didn't pick a pumpkin. Okay, she should have just not gone.
See, if she would have picked a pumpkin, I think she would have been fine.
Yeah.
Guys, life lesson that I learned from this book: don't keep my passport.
Don't
in
go
my
to
purse.
the pumpkin patch. Don't bring your passport anywhere.
Oh gosh. So how would you rate the?
How would I rate? The 6 was good. Like the 6 was good. I would give it. A 4 candy corns.
Okay.
But I was a little disappointed that this Scarecrow turns human, and that is a theme that you'll notice in my list. For some reason, everybody's scared of letting their Scarecrow look like a scarecrow
Yeah.
during
agreed.
sexy times. They all gotta shift back into human things.
But like, to be realistic, what would a scarecrow fuck you with?
Well, some people on Twitter were saying, how about a corn?
Yeah.
How
Have you
about a
seen
corn
the
dick?
fan art of that?
A
No.
cork?
There's fan art?
A corn. Yeah.
A corn.
Like,
A
how
corn.
about a wooden dick?
Ow. The
Splinters?
splinters up your vag?
Let's say it's like polished and like it's, but why a flesh human looking dick
I agree
on a
with that.
scarecrow?
I think a corn could be okay.
A corn could be fun. Creativity, where is it at? Seth, what's next on your list?
All right. The next one is called Bat Out of Hell by Latrexa Nova.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her vampire Halloween story. So basically it starts off with a girl named Carla who's she's kind of like a pick-me girl in the sense where she's like, no one wants me. I dressed hot for this party and no one looked at me. And so she comes home feeling she has eyes on her, and she's been feeling like this for like the past 6 months, and she saved a bat outside her window which basically like fell out of a tree or something, and she took care of it, and then she just always sees a bat outside and she doesn't put anything together because she obviously doesn't think vampires exist. So she decides to give whatever eyes she feels a show, so she starts stripping and starts herself. Yeah. And she's really into it, and then she just hears a thump outside the window, and then she goes outside, and then she sees this naked man outside. So of course she's like, oh my gosh, this is creepy. And yeah, she kind of doesn't freak out as much as like, you would if you find out there's a vampire that's been creeping up on you and watching you outside your window. She's just like game to fuck. So she invites him
Down
in.
to fuck.
Yeah, she invites him in, and it's literally just like, I think it was like 26 pages, guys, and
We love a quick and smutty read. We do.
and yeah, it was great. One highlight that I thought was really fun was that he needed to be invited into her vagina.
What did he say? Yes, sir. Please come on in.
No, and like what I loved was that she kept edging him on because he also needed permission to come inside her
No
vagina.
way. Oh my god. Poor guy. Poor
I know.
guy.
So that alone gave it like, I think I'll round it up to like 4 candy corn because like Carla was committed to having vampire dick. And it was great, you know? There was some blood play as well.
Ooh.
It was just quick and short. So like if that's what you're into, I highly recommend. It was a good vampire read.
Well, the next one on my list is also a Latrexa Nova book.
Ooh.
However, it's Enthralled by Death.
I did not read this one.
So it's a little bit longer, this one. So basically, the main character, her name is Nisa, I believe is how you would pronounce that. She owns a flower shop, and basically, next door, there's like I think from memory, it was like a costume / like Halloween / like decoration store ? I'm not sure about that though. Anyway, someone just moved in to that place. And the hero is Grave, who is the god of death, and basically he is trapped in a prison that exists underneath that store across the street. He's there because of his like insatiable hunger to destroy. And he knows that Nisa is his true offering, and basically what the true offering is that like it's someone that takes away the impulse to destroy, basically. So only once he finds that can he be freed out into the world, because otherwise, like, I guess he's a dangerous criminal, I guess. Anyways, and so he's found her, and so he's trying to lure her to him through dreams and visions and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, he starts getting frisky in her dreams, and she's like...
Does he, bone her?
Yeah.
Is he a skeleton?
No, his dick is nubs. It's like nubby. It's like...
Ow.
It's like, yeah, I'm kind of imagining, like, anal beads, but, like, dick.
As a dick.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about that one, not gonna lie. I mean, I'm sure, she loved it, so good for her. She's the one dicking it down, but, like, I don't know.
I'm trying to imagine the dick.
Yeah, it was
same.
kind of described as, like, joints. Like finger joints, like,
so is it
nubby
bendable?
in that sense. And I don't remember if it was bendable, just nubby.
Like Lego blocks?
Ouch.
Lego blocks?
No, I mean, like, in the sense where, like, you know, like, you can move them.
No, I don't know. I don't think it was pliable in that sense. It really was just described as, like joint, like... I don't know how many of them he had down there, but more than one, you know? Anyways,
You couldn't count the joints?
couldn't count the joints, no. Anyways, this one had like actually interesting or nice character development, in the sense that there's this whole, like, basically Nisa is very scared of death, in the sense that she's lost people that were very near and dear to her heart, and so she's kind of, as a result, like, avoided people that are, you know, nearing the end of their life, because she was like, well, if I don't acknowledge it, then it can't happen, type thing. So she was kind of trying to ignore death. So obviously, like, you know, her and death kind of end up coming to an understanding that it is just the course of life, and that, you know, death doesn't have to be this horrible thing that causes you pain when you've lived a long, full life full of love. So anyway, this one wasn't just sex, but yeah, it was fun. Probably not as smutty as the one that you read by her, or the ones that you read by her. But I enjoyed it. So if you're looking maybe for a Halloween-esque novella that maybe isn't just the smut, then maybe pick this one up. However, as far as candy corns, I probably wouldn't rate it that high. Like
Okay.
maybe like a 1.5. Like I don't even remember the sex.
What is the
so-
southern accent, by the way?
It's late. Yeah, probably like a 1.5 because I could not tell you. Like, I don't remember the sex, which is never a good thing. And, like, the fact that
Oh,
he
yeah.
had supposedly an interesting dick and I don't remember the sex tells me that was the interesting dick actually worth that? Like, was it doing anything interesting?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll continue my list. So my next book was another Latrexa Nova
I
book.
guess I'll continue my list.
No, because I was thinking, should I mix it
What
up
was
and like
that?
put another book? But then I was like, let's stick with what I have, and that the next one's Latrexa Nova, and it's what is it? FFM book?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's called. Oh, gosh, it's called Mummy. Sorry, Mummy. Sorry.
Tell me more, Seth. Continue.
Keep
All right.
going.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts like I
No,
will
I'm sorry.
say-
I didn't hear the title of the book. Can you repeat it, please? I didn't
You
hear
heard
that. I
it.
didn't catch that.
You heard it fine. Shut up.
No. I didn't catch that.
Anyways, so I will say, like, right off the bat, I felt like this story had a good plot. Like, I honestly was like invested in like the mythology and like the plot of it. So basically it starts off with a teacher who's waiting outside a museum, and she was planning an overnight trip with her students and herself, and they were supposed to stay in the museum. Sorry.
No pencils allowed during recording. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay, I'll anyway, so yeah, she was waiting there for her students, and for some odd reason, she got stood up by all of her students, her whole class. And so she was heartbroken because she was like, I'm so excited. I love the museum. But then the security guard's like, you can still walk around, and then if you want, you can just leave. So she's like, all right, I'll go do that. She ends up in like this closed off section, which is like Egyptian mythology. They're bringing it in. They're like a few sarcophaguses. Anyways, plural of sarcophagus. And she somehow trips and destroys a sarcophagus in the sense where like something falls on it and it cracks it open. And then she also destroys the offerings of this person that had died, and like,
Oh
you know,
no.
yeah, so it was a shit show, and she's like, holy shit, what did I just do? And then the god of death, Anubis, or in this sense, it was like, I think it was Unpu or something like that. Anyways, he has to punish her because of her transgressions and her sins. And now this mummy is being awoken, so like they're rotting. And she's like, oh my gosh, I just awoken this mummy. Like, what the hell do I do? And then he's like, you got to be punished for your sins. So, you know, he does this thing and starts, there's some spanking in it, of course. It's great. And guys, it gets so wild. So basically what happens is, spoilers if you're interested, but I'll just tell you anyway. Well, I don't know how to describe it, but basically the mummy, she is awoken. She can speak now, and she's like still like a rotted corpse with like, she's wrapped around with all this cloth, and she just tells our main character she needs the come of both death and life to return to the afterlife. So they do their thing, her and Anubis, the main character, and then she literally needs to like kiss and like lick the mummy alive to give her a body, and then does her thing. It was great, guys.
Wait, who's licking who?
Okay, so she had her fun with the god, right? The main girl, the teacher.
Yeah.
And then the mummy is just waiting there because it's her turn. And so she has to literally lick her everywhere. And as she licks her, she comes alive. So, like, she spends extra time down there, you know?
Literally, she literally comes alive.
And then once they're done fucking, and guys, I can't. Anyways, it's great. 5 out of 5 candy corns.
Well,
It was great. Yeah, I recommend it. And like I said, I felt like the mythology was great. Anubis was hella hot, guys. I was not prepared.
I need more books
hot.
with that god in it.
Yeah.
There aren't that many, unfortunately, but I am very
Yeah.
interested in that, yeah.
Yeah. And they just make the plan to see each other in the afterlife, you know, when she dies. Because the time was so great. So the teacher had great lessons that night.
Nice. All right. Well, so that was Mommy. Sorry. Mommy. Sorry. Mommy.
Great title.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. So the next book on my list is actually a book that, well, actually, S, how do you feel so far? Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Enjoying yourself?
So,
I'm
for
just
sure
chilling
gonna-
there in the background.
I'm for sure gonna revisit some of these books. Check them out. They seem fun.
We've said this so many times in so many episodes.
And we did not follow through on that promise. Yeah, so next book on my list is a book that Steph has also read, so she can join in for this one. And it is, whoop, my phone just turned off. It is Riding the Headless Horseman by Molly Likovich.
Yeah.
Likovich?
Likovich?
Anywho, so this one, the heroine is called Letta, and she basically does not believe in death, and not meaning like the actual act of dying, but like death as in like the personification of death.
Yeah.
She's a witch, and on Halloween, she, like, a lot of people come to her for, like, palm readings and divinations and such, and she's quite popular in her little town, and basically, she's taking a walk, which I believe she does in her nightgown, which I was like, huh? Anyways, she's taking a walk at night in her nightgown, things I would never do, but anyways,
I know.
to each their own, and she comes across this, like, little bridge, and on the bridge, there's this, like, horse with a man sitting on top of it, and the man in question has, like, this pumpkin as a head, right? Wait, no, he does have a, yeah. Anywho, and she's like, oh my god, it's the Headless Horseman. She didn't believe that, you know, he existed.
She goes running.
Yeah, and then they end up in his house, and the Headless Horseman turns out is a little kinky.
So kinky.
Yeah.
I wanted more of it.
S literally just perked up. I wasn't even looking at my screen, and I saw her head go, huh?
We saw pasteurized this time.
Continue.
So he's kinky, you know, he's telling her, he's like, well, you're gonna call me master from this point on, and this is how it's gonna work, and if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna punish you, stuff like that. It's very, interesting. He, however, has a normal looking cock, which I was like,
I know.
come on. I mean, I guess, like, it makes sense in this case because, like, the Headless Horseman was a man at some point, so, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But, like, you know.
But I thought his shadows would have come into play. But it's, to be quite
It's-
honest.
I mean, it's a huge cock, we have to say.
Massive.
But it's a regular looking cock, so. And the sex gotta end it quick, I gotta say.
Okay, because it was so short. I felt like this, like, it could have been longer. I really enjoyed this novella.
Yeah.
I literally lost it. He slapped her pussy so hard.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he did do that. He did do that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he did do that.
So, okay, I'm going to read that one for sure.
He was kinky. Unfortunately, it just didn't last long enough. I did
agree.
see online that the author is, like, aware of that. Like, she kind of read the reviews, and I guess a lot of people agree that we wanted more of the pussy slapping, I guess.
It was like, and then the wax play. I was like, he did it for like 2 seconds, and then he's like, because it hit her nipple, and she's like, it's too much. And then
Wait.
he just stopped.
What hit her nipple?
The wax, hot wax.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what I heard. I don't know what I heard. Go ahead, continue.
So yeah, so she did say she was gonna make her next novella more explicit, which I was
That's
like,
great.
thank
I'm
you.
excited.
Well, you know what? I don't mind the length, though. I do love me a short book.
No, I do too, but I feel like I got so invested with the story and these characters and like their sex because it was hella hot that I wanted more.
Question is, though, there is controversy around this book, Seth.
Why?
Apparently, some people are mad that the Headless Horseman is headless no more by the end.
Oh.
How did you feel about that side of the... Sorry, spoiler alert,
Okay.
Spoiler.
After she says the spoiler.
Yeah. So the girl basically disappears for like 6 months, and he's hella mad because he's like, where the hell did she go?
And heartbroken because he's chosen her to be his mate for life, for all eternity. And she runs out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but she was gone because she was looking for his head for 6 months, and she did find it.
That's kind of cute, though.
She dug some graves.
The above head.
Yeah. And so she gave him his head. Yeah.
Should do more than that.
Did she give him 2 types of head, though? Were there 2 types? Okay.
Yes. And I will say, as soon as he got his head, he's like, there's one thing that I've been dying to do. And he literally ate her out real good.
That's great. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Which kind of brings me to the tweet that I tweeted out today. So I have an issue that I'm going to bring up with the entire community.
Dun, dun, dun.
Being us 3. Okay, go.
If you have a headless horseman who has found his head, why would he not give himself head if he can?
Oh, God. I feel like that's incestuous on a whole other level, though.
No, it's self-love.
That was not what I was expecting you were to say.
It's some kind of self-loving. Like, how is that different? No, go ahead. Like, I mean, I would do it. You would do it. I would do
If
it.
your head was detached, you'd do it?
Yeah, I'd do it. Heck yeah. Don't lie.
I don't really have thoughts right now. Do you have any thoughts about this, S?
No.
You have thoughts. You just don't want to share. You guys have thoughts.
I'm trying to, like, take it all in.
I guess I won't knock it.
Yeah, you won't knock until we try it.
Sorry.
I don't know. I could see it, and I feel like why not? If you don't have another option.
Period. It stops at that.
Okay.
Why not? Why not?
You know what?
If
Fuck
you
it.
can.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Fuck yourself, dude. Do it.
This is a PSA to all headless horsemen out in the world.
Yeah.
Just fuck yourself
do
with
it.
your head.
Fuck yourself. Give yourself head. You deserve it. You deserve it. You've been headless too long. Give yourself head.
What is his convo?
Give yourself a head, guys. Give yourself a head.
That's funny.
I'm glad we could have this chat. I really feel like we did some groundbreaking work today. Really changing the world. One conversation at a time.
Teaching a horseman, headless horseman, about loving yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
Anyways. I don't know how I go from that to what I'm going to be talking about now. Okay, well, I read a ghost romance. It's called Hall-hoe-ween Boo by Sarah Spade. And this is a Hocus Pocus fanfic, like a published fanfic.
Oh.
And it's about, have you seen Hocus Pocus, both of you?
Yeah. No.
You haven't seen it? I don't even know why I'm shocked. I shouldn't be shocked at this point.
I grew up in a different culture, okay? I got a lot of catching up to do.
Okay. Anyways, so basically, Hocus Pocus, a quick rundown for you, Em. So we have Max and his little sister Danny, and then they come across a cat named Binks, but he, I guess when he was a boy, his name was Thackeray Binks, and that was like in the 1500s. Anyway, so he was cursed to be a cat as he watched his sister die very, tragically. So basically, like, there's so many fanfic out there about Danny and the cat, Thackeray. Because, like, he eventually in the end, he becomes a man again, and he, like, goes off into heaven with his sister because their souls are arrested. So he kisses Danny on the cheek, and because of that, everyone's like, oh my gosh, that'd be so cute. But she was a child, so don't worry. But anyways, in this one, they're not children, and it's modern day. It's like a really loose retelling. Not even a retelling. It's just like the characters are similar, and it's just, like I said, fanfic. So we have our main girl, Danny, who lives in this apartment, who she's convinced it's haunted by a ghost. She finds like a rose petal in a corner somewhere. She finds like a heart in her flower as she's trying to make something. She like, and then the doors would like open and close at will. She would feel like winds when like, you know, the windows aren't open. So she knows that there's a ghost in there. And then we get both perspectives, and we get Zach, who's like been with her since she's been there. Even before that, he's been a ghost for like, I think 2 years. And it's just like, it was a cute fanfic. And like, I don't even know, it's not even kinky. It was just like really cute.
I mean, we do need the cute sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to offset the kinky.
But of course it does get like, you know, steamy because on Halloween, all ghosts are allowed to cross over and become solid. So
Literally.
But before that, he does do something a little, you know, a little, I guess not even dubcon. It's, she doesn't know that he's actually there, but like he helps her through her self-love time. And so when she finds out that he was the ghost, when he like, I guess, solidifies, she of course, rightfully so, is angry and like, oh my gosh, what the hell's going on? But you know, as Halloween progresses, she's like, I want this ghost, like just give me your dick, ghost. And it was great. It was hot. And yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending if you want to try it out, but it was really good. I liked it. It was really cute.
It sounds cute.
Good.
Yeah. Would I rate his candy corn? I mean, like, it was good. Like,
but nothing special.
But I mean, yeah, it was like he was human. Like, it was just he was just dead, or was he, or is he? I don't know.
Wait, we didn't rate the Headless Horseman's candy corn, did we?
Oh, we didn't. Oh, I think I gave him a 5 because of that pussy slap.
Gotta love a good pussy slap.
But that ain't his candy corn though. 4.
I'd still give him a 5.
I'll give him a 3 because it's not explicit enough.
When I'm talking about execution, I'm talking about everything.
Yeah,
Like
but there wasn't enough of it.
He worked that dick real well. He did everything. Oh my gosh, the spanking scene when he's like, she's like, "Are you done?" And he's like, "The front is not red yet." I know. I don't care. I gave him a 5 out of 5 candy corns. But back to Halloween Boo. I mean, like I said, I don't think I'd rate it.
You don't think you would rate it at all?
I mean, maybe I'd give it like a
you
3.
Can give it like a 1.5 like I did. It doesn't mean that the sex is not good. It just means that the sex is not like memorable.
I mean, the sex wasn't bad. Like, I give it a...
that's what I mean. It's just not memorable.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'd give it a 2.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
So, next book on my list is also something that you've read, actually. So it's Blood and Secrets by Beatrix Hollow. So this one, you have Sebastian and, well, actually, do you want to describe that one?
Sure. So basically the book starts off with, us finding out that Sebastian and Tate are partners, but not by chance. Tate has been obsessed with him for years since they were children. Like, he's like crazy.
It's the
like,
boy obsessed trope.
He stalked him through a window.
Yeah.
He's just obsessed with him. So they are partners on this mission of kind of, I guess, infiltrating this vampire coven that's like, I guess, passing as a university. And so Sebastian is the person that's infiltrating the vampire thing, the university. And, Tate's just been obsessed with him. So what happens, is Sebastian starts off with like having these really bad dreams, and he's getting fed on by a vampire, and
he doesn't know.
So he thinks it's just nightmares, but it's actually happening in truth. But Tate goes in, and it kind of starts like this whole, you know, lusty vibes between them.
Well, because Tate is on the phone and he's hearing like noises coming from Sebastian's room, and he's like, oh, he's jerking off again, like whatever. Obviously he's obsessed with him, so like, he's like half listening at the same time.
Yeah.
And his dick is hard, and anyway, he realizes that like the moaning is actually like moaning
Fearful.
in pain,
Yeah,
not
and-
like moaning in pleasure. So
Yeah.
he runs into Sebastian's room and he like
Jumps
ends
on
up on
him.
top of him, like straddling him with his dick hard in between them.
As his
And-
face, I wished people.
Yeah, I
That's
wish
his
this was filmed because S
Yeah.
is not saying anything, but her face is saying everything.
I know.
My eyebrows.
So yeah, his dick is hella hard, and
Yeah.
Sebastian comments on it, but Tate just leaves right away because obviously there can be no what is it? Fraternizing?
Right? Yeah, sure.
Is that how you would say the word?
think so.
Fraternizing? My brain's fried with all the dick. Anyways, so yeah, no fraternizing between vampire hunters.
brothers of the Brotherhood?
Okay, now you're making it sound very incestuous.
I mean, they're not brothers, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are in a brotherhood.
Yeah. So he goes off, jerks off in his room, and comes back, and life's just as is. But we are training, and it's time for a shower, and Sebastian is like hella hard, and he's like, you have to do your duty and take care of me because that's your purpose of making sure I have everything to complete this mission. So
Right.
Sebastian's hella hard, and Tate's
Tate
like,
is
oh my
all
gosh.
too willing to provide.
But he's like, this is like going against everything. But
Right.
like I'm gonna do it. And like anyways, it was really hot. Anyways, jump to, I don't know why we're spending so much time on the synopsis. But basically what happens, Sebastian becomes a vampire. Obviously not by will, and
Yeah.
he is a vampire, and Tate cannot for the life of him kill him because he's in love with him, and his job as a vampire hunter is obviously to kill vampires, but he can't. So he keeps Sebastian. He takes care of him, and
There is use of muzzles in this book.
Really?
Chains.
there's bloody BJs.
There's drinking from the tap.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it that. There's blood as lube.
Interesting.
It was really hot. The sex
Some
was
mentions of voyeurism as well. It was hot.
Is this
It
the
was
one you told me to
hot.
read, Marge? Or no?
Yeah, but you didn't read it, did
It's
you?
the funk. It's the funk. But once I'm over it, then I will. It sounds really
It's
good.
quick and it's good.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect novella in the sense that like it's equal parts, like you have a solid good story with like
Yes.
good world building and character development, but also hot sex.
Yes. The plot was really good
So-
and really well done, and the characters were developed really well, despite it being like I think 100 pages or maybe
Yeah.
less. I don't know, but
No,
it was
like 100, yeah.
yeah, it was done really well. What would you rate both candy corns?
Oh, I would give that one like a solid 4.5 candy corns.
What would it take for you to have a 5?
I wish the reason why I'm not giving it a 5 is because I saw NSFW art for this book, which is how I found out about it and why I wanted to read it. And in the fan art, he's wearing the muzzle as he's being fucked in the ass by Tate, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this."
Can you send it?
But that this is like nodding.
Share with the class.
But it didn't.
But then that didn't happen in the book, so I was a little sad that there's none of and like in the fan art, Sebastian has this like bratty bottom look about him while he's
Yeah.
wearing the muzzle. So I was like, where is that in the book though? So I will send it.
They were both very dominant. They both I love that they both were switches.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that didn't happen to us. So sorry to burst your bubble there. But I want to see the fan art, Marge.
Yeah. So I really, really enjoyed that one.
Me too. Okay, so my next one is another Latrexa Nova book, and it was more on like the smutty side, and it's called Where to Werewolf. Did you read this one, Em?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
So basically, it was hella hot. She's a new werewolf, and her boss is uber alpha, and then she finds out that he's a wolf. But that doesn't happen until the end, so I literally just spoiled the whole book. I read this one like so long ago. Anyway, so her boss and her have like this intense chemistry going on, and she doesn't know he's a wolf at this point. He obviously picks up that she's a wolf, and he's going to help her find a place for the next full moon because she has tried change. She had tried, like, everything to keep herself, like, in her house so she doesn't attack anyone. And it doesn't obviously work out, but so this time she's really scared. And he's like, okay, I have this place. It's like people are, like, you know, doing their construction there, but, like, it's empty for when you need it. And she lies and says that she needs to lock up her pet or something like that, because he wants to take her there. And anyways, it just gets really steamy and hot because there's a lot of, like, dirty talking, degrading. It was great. But they didn't actually fuck as wolves, so I was, like, knocking that a little bit. And I don't even think there was nodding. It wasn't memorable. Now thinking about it.
So how many candy corns?
How many candy corn? I think I'd give it a 1. Because, like I said, it wasn't memorable, but, like, you get 1 for all the degradation. It was great.
Oh, I love me some
I
degradation.
do love degradation.
Me too, guys. I know I shouldn't, but, like, it was a good balance between degradation and also the Praise King. Like, it had all of it.
Yeah.
Ugh. I highly if you've never read a Latrexa Nova book, I highly recommend this person because they're great.
So the next book on my list, how do I still have 5? 6 even. So the next book on my list is called The Lantern by S.J. Sanders.
Ooh.
So basically, and this is probably the book with the most, like, monstrous, non-human looking monster. So basically Misty, our main female character, is on her way home after a Halloween party. And when she turns onto her street, she hears something crashing through the forest. And our hero, Margal? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Anyway, he's this, like, big green-brown horned, meaning horns, so, like, he has more than 2 horns, looking creature, forest monster. He has a massive pink cock.
Oh.
That also has fluttering frills.
Oh.
All, you know, from tip to base that are just, like, fluttering like that.
Wouldn't that just tickle up in there?
That sounded very pleasant, I have to say. So, you know, they start fucking on the forest floor, as one does, and, his cum and saliva are both aphrodisiacs.
Oh.
And there's slight bondage happening here because he's basically, like, the god of the forest, I guess. And so he kind of, like, can create, or can use vines or sprout vines from the ground, and, like, he kind of, like, wraps them around her, and they sprout phallic-like flowers, and they too start sort of, like, producing orgasm-inducing stuff.
Do they also, do things with her?
No, they don't, which I was kind of, like, wanting, but they don't. They just, like, start producing this, like, I think it's a scent, actually. I don't think they produce, like, a liquid or some sort. I think it's a scent that's, like, orgasm-inducing.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a slight backdoor action with a tail, which is actually a vine, his vine tail thing at the back. Anyways, it was quite lovely. It was quick and sexy. So, and it had, like, a proper forest monster. So I appreciated that because he was truly alien. So.
And he didn't become, like, human looking after, right?
No, he did not. He kept his pink cock with the frills.
Great. Love to see it.
Love it. So for that reason, he by far has the most interesting dick on this list. So for that reason, I will give him. Yeah, I'll give him, like, a I'll give him. Well, you know what? I'll give him a 5. There was
Okay.
backdoor action. I'll give it that.
Okay. All
I'll give it
right.
that.
Do you have
So,
fan art
yeah.
or no fan art?
No fan art with that. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Okay. Do you want to say another one or should I say mine?
Okay, I'll say another one. So the next one on my list, I actually do not remember.
Oh God.
I'm reading. It's called Tricks or Treats: A Scarecrow Monster Erotica by Moira Carmel? Question mark?
Oh, I think I saw that one.
So the main girl is getting over a recent breakup by going to a frat party for Halloween. There's a lot of like, this girl was on her way from or to a Halloween party and like stuff happens. Like, I'm just thinking like maybe that's what I've been doing wrong my whole life. Like, I haven't been going to Halloween parties, and maybe I would have stumbled upon a sexy Scarecrow. And
Yeah, and I'm never. I go
would have
to
been different.
Halloween parties, but I'm never walking to them.
That's where you went wrong. Take a stroll. October 31st this year. Take a stroll.
You know what? I might, but I.
It will be like, yeah. I feel like that's a bad idea. We don't want to find you
I'm
in a
gonna
body
come
bag.
across like a psycho, like
Yeah.
nasty loser.
Yeah, and it was the news will be like, she just wanted dick.
She wanted Halloween dick.
Anyways, so she's on her way to this frat party, and she notices this like really hot guy that's dressed as a scarecrow, and he's like he has this like mean looking hook as
this
one
is another
hand.
scarecrow.
It's another scarecrow.
Ooh.
I don't understand the point of the hook. Like, am I missing some lore around scarecrows where it's like sometimes they have a hook?
Was
for a
it
hand?
supposed to be like an anal hook?
It was a hook, like not the kind of hook that you would want anywhere near those
Oh,
parts.
okay.
So, anyways, this ain't no twiggy looking scarecrow though. He's like real. It's like a swole scarecrow. he's built. He's beefy. Anyway, she doesn't
With hay?
question it.
Like, is he stuffed with hay or?
No, and that's where I'm going. It's like nothing is scarecrow about him. He's a flesh.
Does he have like a plaid shirt at least?
I mean, he's dressed like a scarecrow, and I think his head is like scarecrow like, where it's kind of like patched together, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that front. But the rest of him is just like totally normal. But anyways, so my note literally says, so it would seem that Scarecrow has, yet again, a normal dick.
Oh, disappointing.
It was, I will point out, uncut. So I will give him points for that, for, a change. You know?
Yeah.
That's a rare sight in bromance. But yeah, nothing really special about this one. He had, however, 2 tongues. And I was very, like, I'm not opposed to it, obviously, but I was also like, how does that work into the whole Scarecrow thing? Like, I didn't, like, that was my issue with that story.
But how does that also work with like speech production?
Oh, he didn't speak at all. Not really.
Okay,
In the whole story. He was quite, like, quiet.
Okay.
But, and this is my thing, okay? This is my second PSA of the night. If you have a creature, why not, like, everything about that creature should work into the lore of the creature and, like, make sense. Like, why the hook and why the 2 tongues? Like, none of that means, like, says Scarecrow to me, you know? So, I'm like, okay, but, like, why? You know?
Did the tongues, at least, were they great?
Yeah, they did some things. They did. Like, I wasn't mad. It's just, like, I also wasn't like, oh, I get it, you know?
Okay.
So, that's it. That was that book. Kenny Gaines, like a 1. Honestly, really disappointed in the Scarecrows this year.
To be quite honest, I've never tried a Scarecrow book before.
I expected more.
So maybe there's a few out there. I'm convinced there's so many Scarecrow books out there that I'm convinced there has to be one that delivers.
Well, maybe the next one
Yeah.
on my list.
How many Scarecrow books did you read?
3.
Oh, God.
And it wasn't even planned. So what's next on your list?
Well, my last one is one that I dropped everything to read because I didn't notice that it was coming out. And it's Monster Milking Motel by Harpie Alexa.
Oh, you're putting this on this list.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know you were reading this for Halloween. Oh, Hall-hoe-ween.
Okay. That's the thing. It wasn't really Halloween themed, but I still lumped it in here because I was like, I want to talk about it.
I mean, it's monster cock, so I guess.
Yeah. And like all the creatures. So basically, as I don't know if you remember that episode, the beginning of this book just reminds me of one of our episodes where I think it was all of us actually talking about loving all dick, you know? Like, it's all of
That's
it.
every episode.
Yeah.
So basically, this book's about this human who...
Wait, that made no sense what you just said, Seth. But what she means is, like, the girl in this book, literally, first page, she's like, I love dick. I love all dick. I love monster dick. I love big dicks, small dicks. I love all my dicks.
I was leading up to it because she was referring to monster dick. And she's, like, obsessed with it because what happened... So I think it was, I don't remember how many years ago. But anyways, the wall between Monster Realm and our realm, it
Do we
broke.
care?
I'm just explaining as to how she's obsessed with monsters.
Just get to the dick.
Anyways, so it shattered, and so monsters ended up in our world, and then humans are in that world. But anyways, so she's living in a world where monsters exist, and she's just obsessed with monster dick. She's like, human dick just does not do it for me anymore. So she literally.
I get it, girl. I get it.
Anyways, this is so wild. So she, like we said, she loves dick. So she ends up after work. She's like, I'm gonna go get myself some monster dick
every day. Like that's her second job.
Day. That's not even a job. She's not getting paid for this. She ends up in like basically like it's like glory holes.
It's a it's a glory hole. Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's just like a wall. And like a glass wall, and like you showcase your, you know, how hot you are. So she apparently is known for getting a lot of dick every night, except for one night. And she's like, why am I only servicing one fae and then another werewolf? And then she's like, that's it. Anyways, she gets kidnapped by this werewolf that we find out that he believes that's his mate, and he's gonna make her his. So she's kidnapped by this wolf, and then as soon as he's like, "I'm gonna fuck you," she's game. She's ready for this. And there's some daddy kink in there. He was so.
There's a lot of things in there.
There was way too many things in here, but like I loved it.
Not way too many, girl. It's just perfect.
No, I'm not saying it in a bad thing. I just like it was like a lot of stuff that I couldn't recover from the first thing, and then something else started, and then.
But you know what? A lot of things too that like you don't see as often. So I really appreciated that, like stepping onto someone's head while he was fucking her from behind, and then stepping on her head with his foot. Yeah, I was like, you know what? We don't see that often.
And he like breeding, like it was really heavy, and like the breeding.
Oh my god! At some point, he's fucking her mouth and then pinching her nose at the same time. I was dead. I was like, ugh.
It was so hot. Like we've asked Harpie Alexa to give us more darker monster fucking romance
because we loved claimed by the demon and dragged to hell.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love that book.
Where she literally was being ripped apart and dying. Yes, I love it. And like this book, it wasn't as dark as that, but it still gave me the same kind of vibes, in the sense where like she was literally gonna suffocate on his dick.
Okay, I'm reading this one tonight.
She loved every second of it too.
Yeah, so great. I gave him 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
candy corns. It was great.
Good. My only question about that book is, you know that one scene where it's like morning after their first night together, and he's like, if you don't shut up or something, like I'm gonna fuck your ass or something like that. And then And then she's like, oh, not there.
Oh, right. Yeah. Why was
and
she
then
saying
like
no?
but before she was saying like she was totally for it, and then after the fact she's like totally for it, but during that one scene she's like not there, and I was very confused by that.
Did she have to
There was
poop?
no explanation.
Did she have to poop?
Oh, do you think that was like what was said but like not said?
I don't know, because after a few hours she was okay to do that.
She was okay, right? Yeah.
So then I was like,
okay.
maybe she had to poop.
Maybe she did have to poop, you know? It's the morning.
Makes sense.
Bowel
Girl's
movements
got to
happen in
do
the
her
morning.
business. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that was it.
That's how I took it.
Okay,
God.
fair enough. We're cool with that.
Yeah, that was my list. I
I
ended
mean,
with a serious bang.
Yeah. So definitely read that one, S.
I
Yes.
will.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like out of all of these, there's 4 books that I would tell you have to read.
Mm-hmm.
4? Yeah, 4. It's The Headless Horseman,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Blood and Secrets,
Okay, I have those two.
the Milking Motel,
Okay.
1, and the following one that I'm about to talk about.
Ooh, good lead in. Let's hear.
Right. Anticipation. I'm a professional. Been doing this for 2 years. Can you tell? No, you can't tell. So the next book on my list is Their Monstrous Natures by Honor Saint Jean. Basically, this is definitely for the fans of a slightly darker smut. So Clara is playing Truth or Dare with a lot of shitty ass people. And she's dared to spend the night in this creepy abandoned Victorian house.
Nice.
Yeah. And so she enters the house, and basically it's obvious from the start that the house is pretty haunted, and the house actually starts like throwing shit at her.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because the house is actually like pushing her in a direction, and it locks her in a room. And in this room we encounter, this is, I should have said from the beginning, this is reverse harem.
Ooh.
And so in the first room she encounters this like skeleton guy, and he fingers her, bones her.
Did he have a dick, or was it just the fingers?
We do not know if Skeleton had a dick, because he only used his fingers.
Okay.
But you know, she enjoyed herself, but she's like panicked at the same time. So this one like was interesting because it definitely, like, all her encounters toy with that line of like what's pleasure and what's like scary, you know?
Right.
Definitely like dubious to no consent. Okay. So she has her time with Skeleton Dude, and then after that the house sort of starts throwing shit at her again to get her into the next room. And in the next room she encounters this furry wolfman beast who eats her out, impales her on his huge dick, his huge schlong, and knots her as well, of course.
Nice. Love a good nodding.
Yeah, so that's that encounter. At the end of that encounter, he's like, remember, like, you have to submit. And then she is pushed by the house once again. That this house is like real
pushy.
You know, it's just like, yeah, it's just throwing shit at her, poor girl. Anyway, she enters the next room, and it's like a sitting room, and there's this man. He's sitting on a couch, and he just has like red eyes, and we don't know until like a bit later on that he's actually supposed to be the boogeyman. But he's the boogeyman, and he wants her to submit. So that's what the werewolf meant. He meant like you have to submit to the next guy. Nothing actually sexual happens with the boogeyman in this instance. It's just like it's a lesson in submission. So like he makes her like crawl to him, sit on a pillow next to him. He like kind of like pets her head. He's reading like the newspaper. He's really in no rush. And then by the time anything interesting could have happened, the Scarecrow. Remember Scarecrow? Scarecrow makes an appearance, and this guy actually looks like a scarecrow. He makes an appearance, and this is a mean Scarecrow. Like, I was a little scared about this guy. Yeah, he takes her away and he brings her upstairs, and Scarecrow is into whips. He's into chains. He's into knife play. Yeah, her time with Scarecrow dude is a little intense. Anyways, we do not complain. And then, you know, they make it to the room where the big finale happens, where
the culmination of sorts.
Everyone joins in, and we have, I believe, if I remember correctly, a DP situation with Scarecrow and the Boogeyman. So
she does get the Boogeyman dick.
She does get the Boogeyman dick.
She does get boogie
but
down.
But she's wearing a blindfold at that point, I believe. So we do not know what the Scarecrow dick or the Boogeyman dick.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Well, I mean, it was exciting. She was blindfolded. I'm not complaining.
Sensations.
Yeah, but I mean, for a friend, I'd like to know, and by friend I mean me, what those dicks looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume Boogeyman looked pretty normal because it sounded like he looked really normal besides like the red eyes.
Okay.
So
okay.
But Scarecrow, he was scary. You know, he lived up to his name, I gotta say.
Yeah.
he was mean.
Was there degradation, or was he just mean?
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that one is on my list. I'm gonna read that.
What's the name of it again? So I can have it ready.
Their Monstrous Natures. Okay. And that one ended with a nice little happy ever after where, you know, she broke their curse and she's back and they're back in their human selves and they're gonna work it out for the rest of eternity.
Wait, they turn human?
Yeah, basically there was a curse and basically like everyone that has entered the house before her never made it through the whole, like every room. She's the only one that's gotten through all of them. So literally so that's why like she broke the curse.
I
Then
would
they live happily ever after as a big
boring
happy
humans
harem.
I would demand a refund and be like, yo, house, this is not what I signed up for and I want a refund. What would I do with humans? Are you serious?
I mean, you still have Scarecrow. He's called like Harry now or some shit. But
God.
You know, he's still into the shit that he was into before. So, you know, he ain't like some regular Joe.
I'm sure once I read it, it'll probably be better.
Yeah, I mean, we don't mind the ending. We like what comes before.
Right.
So for that one, I mean, honestly, like, I really enjoyed that one. So I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 Kenny Canes.
Candy corn.
Kenny corn.
I have some Christmas novellas already lined up. I'm ready.
Oh, I do too. So next is Abducted by the Pumpkin King by Cassie Idol. So Audrey is on her way to a Halloween party.
We really need to try this out, guys.
Yeah. We've been doing it wrong this whole time. So she gets bitten by something, and then he has the body of a man, but his head is a blazing pumpkin. He's the king of the pumpkins, I guess. I don't know. And he kidnaps her, brings her back to his pumpkin lair. Not literally, it's not like an actual pumpkin lair, but yeah, and once in his lair, that was confusing to me. He now has a human face, and I was like, what is the point?
Oh my gosh, so she wasn't with Jack Skellington?
Leave the man. No, he was just like, he had the pumpkin head out and about, but then once he got to his home, he like does like a magic trick, and then suddenly he has like a regular face, and I was like,
all right.
So this is like a running theme here I'm noticing with these Halloween books, I have to say.
So it's just a costume. It's not permanent.
I just feel like they're not understanding the concept of monster fucking novellas.
But I will say in this book's favor, Pumpkin King turns out also quite kinky. He uses vines to bind her. Like the other guy, so we do like a vine action. There's definitely some dubious consent here as well. There's Right. So he fondles her a little bit, you know, we get it going, and then he's like, right, you have a choice. You can either leave and have your freedom or pleasure. She chooses pleasure, and then she regrets it immediately and tries to escape. Well, because she's like, I'm not worthy of this man.
God.
So she tries to run, and then he's like, no, that doesn't work like that. So he doesn't let her leave, and then there's some spanking, some choking, some backdoor action, some edging.
Oh, okay,
The vines kind of create a sex swing at some point.
Oh.
And then she's even DP'd by his dick in her ass and a pumpkin-looking dick in her front door that he creates.
What do you mean by pumpkin looking? Do you mean like the stem or the?
It's a dick-shaped pumpkin.
Oh. Oh.
So I will give him that.
Oh. Okay.
So that one, honestly, like a solid 4. Skinny corns out of 5.
All right, I can see that.
I only have 2 left, guys. We can make it through.
It's okay. I'm fine. I'm enjoying this. Next.
Next is Headless by Aveda Vice.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a throuple situation. It's Halloween's Eve, and one of them, his name is Brom, I believe. He goes missing, and he's been taken by the Headless Horseman. And, you know, he had been saying prior to this night that, like, he was kind of scared something was going to happen, and the other 2 were kind of like, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't believe him, and then he goes missing. Fast forward to the following Halloween Eve, a year later, and the 2 remaining people in the throuple realize that it's him. He's arrived. He is now the Headless Horseman. And basically, like, they start getting frisky, and yeah, basically, like, the whole story, all 16 pages of it it just tells you that basically every Halloween Eve from that point on, he comes back, and when he does, they all have sex, and then he leaves, and then they all have sex again the next year, and blah, blah, blah.
So what happens if, like, the humans, like, move on and have lives and things like that? Like, are they still expected to come and you know?
Well, what I was kind of confused by, I was a bit confused as to whether or not they have sex together, like the remaining 2, if they have sex together when he's not there, if they always wait for that one time a year for him to
keep things, you know, fresh and spicy.
Yeah, I was a little confused on that front, but because it sounded like it was like a MMF type situation, and you're left with like the M and the F on the opposite sides and not the M in the middle.
Okay,
like,
okay.
I kind of understood that, like, the guy that goes missing is the guy that was like the middle person in that dynamic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed with that.
That's fair. You've read a lot.
Because I feel like my expectations were high, because when you ask people online for Halloween themed smut, this book comes up a lot, and I've been wanting to read it for a while for that reason. And the smut was not explicit at all. Like, at all. It wasn't sexy at all. It was just like, it was almost like too well written to be sexy. Is the thing. Like, it's just, it wasn't explicit enough, and then what was said was kind of too prettily put for me to be like, oh yeah, that's hot, you know? Like, there wasn't any, like, you cock whore, come on my dick type of you know?
I will say, though, the ghost book, the Halloween Boo one, he did say cunt, and I was like, yes. Okay, go. Continue.
Yeah. So that one is like, meh. So, to be honest, I may give this one like a 1 candy corn out of 5.
That's fair. I'm always down for good writing, but then I feel like if it's too good and it's not as, I guess, gritty,
I think it would have worked better had it been longer. It really literally was 14 pages. Okay. So I think the potential was there. It just unfortunately didn't have enough space to provide on that front. Like it needed to be just a little longer, like 40 pages.
Okay.
But I do definitely want to read other things by this author, because I did like the writing. Is just like 14 pages and is not going to do it.
Yeah. I do want to read books by this author as well. So
last book.
Grand finale. Let's go.
Grand finale. And I don't know if it's that grand, unfortunately. It's called His Heartbeat by Kat Baxter. This is a zombie romance.
Oh.
So we have this tattooed zombie guy named Atticus and this curvy horror novelist heroine called Vivian. And our zombie guy, unfortunately, does not eat people.
I mean,
I'm a little bummed about.
I think that's great news.
He's a zombie. That's your time to have him be like brains. But, he wasn't like brains. Seth is like, thank fuck. Anyway, so he doesn't eat people, but he does eat brain, just like animal brain. He's kind of like the
Edward.
Cullen.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm vegetarian. I only eat animal brain. Anyway, he's kind of a he's kind of a cinnamon roll.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was cute. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy this for being cute. Like,
okay,
he like hasn't felt any emotion ever since he turned into a zombie.
Okay.
So, and then he meets this girl and she makes his heart go boom, and he's like, what is this?
So kind of like Warm Bodies, right? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have, but years ago.
Okay.
Is that
like
what
he
happens?
becomes like, I guess, alive in a sense when he meets her and his heart starts beating and all of that?
Yeah, I think it was literally that. Yeah.
Oh.
Literally.
Okay.
So he meets her because she's like getting attacked in the forest by this like bug-like looking thing, and he saves her, and then she moves in with him because the bug thing wants to mate her. And so he's like, move in with me, because like he's just gonna keep on following you. And then like they come up with this plan. He's like, well, if you had the scent of another male on you, perhaps the bug looking thing would leave you alone. So she's like, heck yeah, I literally came to this town to fuck a monster. Let's get it on. So they do, and yeah, they have sex. He can get it up, which
nice.
I was a little curious as to how that works if he's literally dead.
That's my question.
Yeah.
So I mean, not that, but like the fluids, does he have any?
He does. Yeah, he has
How?
a normally operating apparatus.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess it
have
questions from
questions
all
about
like the brains.
It's it's brain juice.
Hey, it's vegetarian. It's animal brain juice.
Anyways, so yeah, and then that's about it, really. They realized that they're mates, and then they lived happy ever after.
What would you rate the candy corn?
Like a 3. Like it was like a 2.5. Like it was cute, and I enjoyed it for being cute.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, groundbreaking stuff, Plus, we do not know how the dick worked, so.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think the brain juice answers that of his steady diet.
Yeah. Kind of like Edward's venom, which apparently powers up his dick. You're meaning that, like, the brains that he eats power up his dick.
But the thing about Edward is that he had regular cum, like it wasn't venom. So, and that was powered by the blood.
Are you sure about that?
ingested.
Wasn't there a
theory?
Didn't she write about how Edward's dick works? And I think it was venom.
But venom didn't shoot up her vagina and create Renesmee.
You seem very convinced of that. I would not be so convinced.
But then she would have became a vampire.
Well, she was.
Not then. That's how.
Oh, you mean Bella would I mean, now that would have been a fun story to explore.
That she became
Imagine.
a vampire.
Yeah.
Through the vagina?
Yeah.
Through the vagina.
Anyways, so we don't know how the dick worked, but whatever.
Okay.
All right, and that was the end.
Wait, pause. Another question. A
Yeah.
logistical question.
Okay.
Was he contagious? Like, if she got bit,
He
or
was not, or at least that was not explored either. We also don't know how he became a zombie. Like, it literally sounded like one day this entire town of people just switched. Like, they just transformed into all kinds of creatures. And like, this book is part of a multi-author series with like multiple books set in this same town with like different creatures.
would you check out more books in that like series by other authors?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So that was our episode for you today. S has a very long list of books that she now has to go and read. There's a lot more that I could have read, but obviously I had to cut myself off at one point. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you too have now a list of things that you can go and read during this Halloween season. Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween. Because this should be releasing close-ish to Halloween. I'm actually going to try and release it like a whole week early, but we'll see about that.
That sounds good.
So yeah, if you want to reach us online, as always, you can find us on Instagram at Romancing the Monsters Podcast, as well as on Twitter at the RTM Pod. TikTok is Romancing the Monsters Pod, which S is keeping alive.
I'm trying.
And if you want to find us on YouTube, just search for the name of our podcast and you should be able to find us. And while you're on there, why don't you subscribe? If you're wanting to email us, you can email us at romancingthemonsterspodcast@gmail.com. And if you're looking for me specifically, I am on both Twitter and Instagram at Foes and Lovers.
And you can find me as on both Twitter and Instagram at ButThisBook.
And you can find me, Steph, on both Instagram and Twitter at Pros with Woes. And also, please feel free to, subscribe on any of the podcast platforms. I always get this wrong. You can subscribe and rate us on Apple Podcasts, and I think you can rate and review.
You're still getting it wrong.
Anyways, if you want to, subscribe. And also on YouTube.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.